I buy clay by the ton.
Yeah, but
So how does clay turn out like? Doesn't look that much like clay at all.
That's a good question. So when I throw the clay and I let it dry and I trim it and I do like I trim a little foot in and I finish the bottom with the tools. I do that when it's called leather hard. So like what I throw today, in a few days I'll be able to trim it, get it ready, I'll be able to put handles on it. And we put it in the kiln over here, and we can look at the kiln in a minute. And I fire it and it gets hard. And then I take my coloring, my glazes, and I have buckets of glaze. These are all buckets of glaze. It kind of looks like cream. I dip it into my different recipes for color, and then put it back in the kiln, fire it, and when they come out, they look like this. All different combinations of color. And I can do anything. I mix my own glazes.
Wow, it feels so soft.
I can mix brown glazes. This is a glaze test I'm doing. This is a glaze test I'm doing. Trying to get some different kind of brown colors.
It looks kind of like a fossil. You said a fossil? Yeah.
It also looks like caramel or.
How beautiful it is.
You didn't have breakfast, huh?
I did, but I burn it up quick.
At first it looks
This
kind
is
of.
just clay. It's not mixed with anything. It's just
This is just clay.
just
Well,
clay dug.
well, it is mixed. You know, like they make it at the factory. So they'll mix it. Clay is like a silica, something that makes it go to glass, and some kind of kaolin. The main body of it is from the earth, kaolin or feldspar. And then there's other things to give it plasticity, or you can give it a tooth. You know, so there's different ingredients, but it's basically like three main things of melt. Same with the glaze. The glaze is kind of made of the same things that clay is made with. And when we make our glaze, my glaze recipes have to be made so they shrink at the same rate as the pots, or they'll actually break the pots. So, we'll see. This is going to be a big bowl, and it won't take long. Well, yeah, this big.
That's big. As big as these bowls over there?
Oh, let's just see.
And what you're doing right now by kneading
Oh.
it is getting what, all the air out of it?
Yeah.
Here's the fun part.
The way you want it.
Yay.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm working the air out of it. I'm realigning the particles. I'm bringing more consistency into the clay. Like when it's sitting in the bags, you know, the water will settle onto one side or the other. So you might find a place that's a little bit more slick or moist, and the drier side. So I do this so it's yeah, it's more even.
Now that seemed like it took a lot of strength for you to do.
Oh
that.
yeah, you have to have a certain amount of strength to do clay.
'Cause I don't think I could do that. Just pushing on that, it feels like it's too.
you could eventually. You would have to.
You think?
Yes, you'd have to work yourself into it.
Start small, right?
Yes,
Really little.
exactly.
Start with your
Everybody
dough.
can do everything.
That's funny.
You practice them out, right?
There we go.
Oh, there
Good.
we go. Wow.
This is my new wheel. It's quiet. It's
So is it
quiet.
electric?
Yeah.
It is quiet.
Quiet. I thought it
Oh,
was really
do you need more
loud.
light? Because we can turn
I
another
think
light
I'm
on if you need
okay.
it. You okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so the first thing, one of the kind of the trickiest things in pottery is to get it centered on the wheel. You have to get it centered. First I throw it on there so it sticks. Now I'm going to make sure it sticks. This is also a bigger piece of clay, you know, so. And then if there's a little...
Yeah.
Wouldn't you know? This one, we call it just doing the hula. But that's okay.
Does that mean it goes from side to side, or? Yeah.
The hula.
Yeah.
So you can change the speed.
Oh, okay. So you want to get it balanced? Is that what you're trying to do? I mean,
I
that's.
want to get it centered so it's in the middle of the wheel.
Say it.
And yeah, and it's balanced. So then your pot will be balanced. So I push down and then I squeeze up. I might just have to throw this one with a little bit of a hula. It's got a little bit of an air bubble down there. But
So it's not really necessarily like how you put it on the thing. It's
Well, that could have something to do with it. It's more of if you wedged it properly.
Okay.
And I may have gone a little quicker than I needed to, but it's close. And then you know, that's the question, is like, is this centered? You can pretty much tell. I just put my finger here, and if it hits my finger, like, it's out around. This is close enough. So then the next thing I do is I make a hole down in the middle, and it's kind of fun. It looks like magic when you see somebody do it. So I'll make my hole first, and then I make the bottom. So I pull it towards me.
Oh my gosh! How do you do that?
Practice.
Just
So see how it looks now? So then, actually what's fun now is I can make this into anything. But I'm going to make this one into a bowl, and I'm also going to show you a pitcher, and maybe a narrow neck bottle. But it's kind of fun. You can make it into anything right now. And all pieces of clay start like in a cylinder way. So I'll start in a cylinder. I'll bring, even as I squeeze up from the bottom and bring it up into the top.
Magic.
It is like magic. Okay, so I keep going for my form, my shape. So this is going to be a bowl. Yeah, you know, I fell in love with clay in college. I just loved the clay slipping through my fingers, and it's like clay chose me. I didn't choose to be a potter. The clay chose me. So now pretty soon I'm going to decide what kind of a bowl I want to make. But I'm going to get one more pull. What I'm doing here is I squeeze. If you look at how I throw, my fingers are always connected. My hands are always connected, so they work like as one thing. And right now I'm squeezing the clay up from the bottom, and then I lessen the tension. And on one of the pieces I'm going to cut it in half so you can see that a pot has a certain taper and a certain shape that a correctly thrown pot should have. Like the inside shape should follow the outside shape, generally. Sometimes I throw with the sponge on the inside. I'm going to try to get a little more height.
This will be a very big bowl.
That's kind of what I was saying. Pretty good
It's going
size
to be
bowl.
like big enough for a whole pot of soup for a feast. Yeah.
Yeah, that could hold like 3 gallons of ice cream.
What are you doing?
Oh, okay. Good question. I'm taking this is called a wooden knife, and I'm trimming off a little of the excess on the bottom. I cut in there. Yeah, they're a good tool for pottery. I just make my own wooden knives. And what that does, it saves me a little time later on when I'm using my other tools. I'll show you what my other tools do. So, where's my... It's hot. But I gotta get it.
Hot water?
Yeah, it's hot water, but it's good. Okay, so I always, this is called a chamois. It's a little piece of leather, and I wrap it around the rim, and I compress the rim. It makes the rim stronger and brings an evenness back into the rim. Okay, so I do that, and now I'm going to get my final shape. So I'm going to come out with this bowl a little bit more. I'm going to come out. And then come out. Alright, see that? And now I'm going to make a lip, so watch. I'll support it with one finger and push clay over the top. Everybody watching? Because it happens fast. That's the joke. Don't blink. And then once again I'll go ahead and clean up my rim. I like to make my rims like this because it works well with the way I glaze. If you look at my pots that have a little bit of a rim like this, the glaze pulls up in here and it looks really pretty. So like when you're doing pottery, a lot of times the form has a function. It's always form follows function. So I'm always thinking about how is this piece of pottery going to be used, you know? Because I'm a functional potter. Meaning these pieces are for everyday use, which I like. So, and then, so that's about something like that. And then, let's see. See, I take a lot of time on my rim. I'm going to make my rim go round again, so it doesn't have a sharp edge, so the glaze stays on it. Then I slow down my wheel, and if it doesn't already have a spiral from throwing, I put one in because it looks good with the glaze. See? Okay, that's it. That's a bowl. So I'll show you how I get it off the wheel.
Are you going to cook it?
Oh yeah, but not right now. It has to dry first. If you cook them when they're wet, they blow up, which is not very fun. And if you want to see some blown up pots, I have some examples we can look at later. Can you show me, somebody give me, there was like a string over there, or a piece of...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, awesome, thanks. So what I do is I put some water down. Well, that's a guitar string. And so anyways, I have to detach it from the wheel, so I pull that water underneath it. And I usually do it twice, just to make sure. Now it's separate. Now these things are called lifters. Why do you think they're called lifters?
Because they lift the pot.
Yes! That's correct! And then I always do a twist. Yeah. So when you lift, you have to be careful. So pink. Pink. Alright. Here's a bowl. And oh, it's gonna change. The color will change. We're gonna yeah, just like you said, we're gonna glaze it. So the color doesn't matter that much. Okay, so I'm gonna throw a little picture next, but I have to do my monkey face again. I thought I was gonna get ahead and get some wedging ahead of me.
More monkey faces?
More monkey faces!
Yay!